Hello there. Welcome back to another episode of the I Am Changing podcast. My name's Kaz Humphreys and I'm a change facilitator. In today's episode, I think we're up to number 64 already. I want to talk to you about or share with you one of my latest blogs where I talk about how right the Beatles were. Love really is everything. You know, I've been doing lots of self reflection lately, and there's something really different within our society since COVID. I mean, there's a few things that are obvious, but conversations don't flow like they once did unless we're behind closed doors, and we've lost connection to that universal language of love. And love is more than a feeling, it's more than an emotion or a mental state. And I think it's safe to say that love transcends sensations, it transcends culture and even time. Love is like a glue that can bind us together in times of hardship. Love can be the unspoken driving force that propels us forward into the future and into the unknown, into uncertainty. Love is often the foundation that propels us through uncertainty. When I work with younger people, they describe love as that heart fluttering excitement of that first crush. And the more mature generations often describe love to be that profound connection that has become intertwined within that lifelong partnership. But here's the thing, love enriches our lives in countless ways. Just ask anyone who owns a Labrador. I've got two myself, and these four-legged furballs, they only know how to love. There's not much else beyond the desire to always eat. So they love food and they love when you pat them. It's pretty simple. Our pets love us unconditionally, even grumpy cats. So, as a therapist and a mature menopausal woman, I've experienced firsthand how vital love is for our life force. Love is as vital as clean air, sleep, nutritious food, water. But I'm not talking about the love from others. I'm referencing your capacity and your willingness to love yourself. And it's my belief that the most important love of all is the one that we often and so easily overlook, and that's the love for ourselves. So, in the blog or in this video today, let's explore why self love is everything, why the Beatles are right, why is love everything, why is self love sprinkled with humor, positive affirmations, and perhaps some practical tips that you might leave with today. So, why should you love yourself? It's a great question that I get it asked a lot. Before we dive into that, let's talk about why it's important. So, here's 5 reasons why you would want to embrace self love. Tip number one, or fact number one, the compelling reason why self love is so important. Number one, you're stuck with yourself for your entire life. And as the Confucius saying goes, wherever you go, there you are. You're the one constant companion throughout your life journey. You are that person that you see every day in the mirror. You're the constant in your life, your reflection, that relationship that you have with that person in the mirror is the longest relationship you have in your life. And so, doesn't it make sense that, you know, loving yourself makes that journey with that reflection a whole lot more enjoyable? Would you want to spend a road trip with someone who is constantly negative or criticizes you? And the answer is always you choose. Well, of course not. So, learning to be kind to yourself and ideally becoming your own best friend is essential. Compelling fact number 2 of why you should love yourself, it boosts your confidence. Loving yourself actually builds confidence, which in turn creates a foundation for resilience. The energy, the mental, emotional energy associated with confidence fuels so much positivity within your mind and your body. Builds that belief in self, fuels the values. When you give back to yourself, when you back yourself, when you stretch that boundary of how much life you invest within in any given day, You can then push yourself to achieve that and more. This creates that magnetic hormonal response to want more of the feel-good reward feeling, dopamine. You can boost confidence by simply appreciating your own self-worth. This enables you to become your own cheerleader. The more you try and love the experience of what it is you're doing, the more you want to try. And this ongoing effort boosts your resilience and it generates more courage to continue you working towards the outcome of the goals that you desire. So loving yourself doesn't make you enjoy the situation, but it pushes you along the lesson that you're learning or pushes you through the hard bits. So by learning to love yourself, you gain confidence in your capacity. It boosts your capacity to be able to face challenges head on and to believe in your ability to succeed through failure. I'm regularly reminding clients of those words of the great philosopher RuPaul: if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love someone else? Fact number 3 of why, or compelling reason we want to love ourselves. 3, it improves relationships. Self-love isn't selfish. In fact, I think it's essential. I've really reflected, I've deeply contemplated the word selfish, and that this particular word rubs me the wrong way. But when I work with clients, I deliberately enunciate that word in a way to emphasize the reference is all about self, not making it shameful. So it's self-ish, you're selfing, you're self more, you're self and you're selfing. You're doing more of you. Learning to like and then love yourself sets an unconscious tone for how others should treat you because you're doing that yourself. When you love and treat yourself with kindness, when you're gentle with your self language, your desire for maintaining healthy boundaries is strong, and consequently, you often attract positive relationships. You know that there's a whole universal law of attraction that says like attracts like. So when you treat yourself in a certain way, you attract people who want to meet you in that place, not treat you from a negative space. So my advice is be willing to learn to like yourself first. And there is an art to it. And especially if you've become a slave to social media and you're addicted to the quick fix scrolling, comparing yourself to others, talking smack about yourself. If you've been in a rut, you get the anxiety, the depressive moods. There's an art, and you speak to any Olympian, they will also talk about there's hard days, but they love themselves sick enough to push through the days where training might or an event might feel physically impossible, but they do it anyway because they have so much belief in themselves that their love of self takes them through that process. So here's the thing: when you can master the like yourself bit, you're already residing within the frequency of love. You're just at one end of the spectrum. So learning to like yourself first and then allowing yourself to observe how the world can mirror that back to you creates this magnetic force of you want more of that in your life. Fact number 4, why you might want to love yourself: it enhances your mental health. There's an art to loving self. Being willing to like yourself to the point of approval is a cornerstone for good mental health. Naturally, being kind to yourself generates more positive energy within your mind, and that feels good in your body. And so then this generates with more physical energy. You're more likely to move more, become more productive, perhaps even more creative. And so movement from positive influence reduces stress and the anxiety that you've perhaps been storing in your body. And this movement, this positive influence, then boosts your capacity to overcome hard things, to overcome those obstacles that life is presenting you. So the more you invest in you from a positive, loving perspective and work towards loving yourself, the more you increase your ability to ride the waves of life. So let's face it, we all experience ups and downs. We all have hard things to do on some level. But how you react to life directly influences your emotional stability and your capacity to experience joy. So, living with an open heart, loving yourself sick, this increases your capacity for gratitude. And the more you're grateful for, the more you're then attracting into your life to experience more of. So, it becomes this beautiful regenerative cycle of more appreciating joy attracts more joy. And so you receive even more love. You become a love magnet. So when you treat yourself with kindness, compassion, this enables you to nurture a healthier, more balanced mind, more balanced behaviors and thoughts and feelings. And in turn, the calm mind contributes to a calm nervous system. Reason number 5 why we would want to love ourselves sick. We unleash our full potential. When you can learn to believe in yourself, you open yourself up to your hidden treasure. And sometimes this is in the subconscious. We haven't yet explored it because the right experience hasn't come around in our life for us to dive in the deep end. I'm talking about learning and embracing those traits that make you unique and ultimately define what you're really worth. When I work in groups, especially, there's something magical that happens when you can embrace your true essence, when you kind of stumble upon it and have that surprise, that sensation of just immersing into love. You develop a hunger to shine that to the outside world. And ultimately, you come to learn that this is actually your life purpose to share your true essence, your gifts, your light with the world. That's your job. So, living from an intentional space, from that space where you love yourself, where you're naturally becoming more inclined to pursue your dreams. And those dreams don't include $1 million because the reality is when you manifest $1 million, you get $1 million worth of bills. But when you manifest an outcome of joy, when you want an experience to be joyful, it just springs up at you from the most pleasant and unexpected spaces. Those dreams that we have, when you set yourself a goal, I want to invite you to have dreams that are filled with joyful laughter. And so I want to leave you with this question of what would it be like if you could always find something to laugh with or something that made you smile? Where might you feel that in your body? Where might you see it or hear it or smell it? Have you ever walked into a bakery when things have come straight out of the oven and the smell just wafts you in? You just have to go and smell that pie or that cake or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Having a life where you live with activated senses and that brings you joy. So let me share some top tips for loving all over yourself, because achieving self-love is a journey and it's something that I would be recommending. I know myself, it's something I work towards every day because it's important to enjoy the ride called life. So here's some top tips to help you nurture that new habit, perhaps, of loving all over yourself. Practice self-compassion. Be gentle with yourself, especially during tough times when it's hard, when you feel stuck or it's overwhelmed. Here's the reality: everyone makes mistakes. It's part of being human. And instead of criticizing yourself, what would it be like if you could offer yourself words of encouragement? Remember, even superheroes need to take a break. So you could repeat to yourself this little affirmation: I'm doing the best that I can, and that is enough. Or the phrase, and that's okay. I've done my best today, and that's okay. Because you're not Wonder Woman. You can't snap your fingers, go back in time, and finish those 100 things on the to-do list. So be really kind to yourself. The next one is celebrate your accomplishments. So even if you're just ticking off, I did the washing today, good job, Kazzy. Be your own cheerleader. Don't wait for others to applaud your success, no matter how small they are. Cheerlead yourself along the way. Celebrate every victory, big or small, everything. Celebrate everything and fill that little joy bucket each and every day, whether it's mastering a new skill, whether it's getting through a hard day, whether it's getting the kids to sleep after they've been feral. Acknowledge and appreciate your efforts. Acknowledge and appreciate everything you've invested in the day and know you gave it your best. You deserve a round of applause for being awesome at just showing up and having a go. Tip number three, prioritize your self-care. Take care of your physical self, your emotional self, your mental self, your energetic self, because they all come together to integrate, to become components of your loving self. Engage in activities that nourish the soul, whatever that may be. And you might shake it up during the day. I'm neurodiverse myself, so it's hard for me to stick to a schedule. But I put it out there to the universe and I check in each morning. What do I need to do today? Journaling, walking, yoga, detox foot spa, pat the dogs, have a cup of coffee, whatever it is, pull an oracle card. At night it might be take a bubble bath, go for a walk in nature, go and dance to some upbeat music. It doesn't matter what it is as long as you're looking after yourself. It's not rocket science, but lean into each morning and each evening. What can I do now just to nourish myself? And it sets the intention for the rest of the day or the quality sleep you will have that night. And the more you invest in you, even throughout the day, the more your joy bucket fills up. Surround yourself with positivity is the next step. The company you keep can significantly impact your self-esteem. Surround yourself with people, with places, with actions that uplift and support you. Distance yourself from negativity and toxic influences. That's obvious, I know. But if you're sitting there scrolling, you're in hypnosis mode. If you're watching the TV and blurring the ads and don't know what you've watched, you're in hypnosis mode and you're missing life. Now, that's not to say that there aren't times where you actually need scrolling or sitting in front of the TV to literally decompress from whatever you've been undergoing that day. But it's not an everyday activity. It's an Elmo. It's a sometimes thing. So you might listen to uplifting podcasts or songs or read a book. It can be a smutty, sloppy, jalopy book. It doesn't matter as long as it's helping you just chill your nervous system and calm the fuck down. The more creative, positive energy and that you can put into your environment, this creates growth for your nervous system to learn how to settle easily and readily without needing to be stimulated all the time. And in turn, that reinforces your sense of worth and your love for self because you're present. You're not in the past. You're not seeking the next quick fix. You're here and now. And that leads into the final tip. You get to embrace your uniqueness. There's no one else quite like you, beautiful. And that's your freaking superpower. Embrace all of your quirks, your neurospiciness, might be your grumpiness. It doesn't matter. We've all got talents and we've all got individuality. Celebrate what makes you different and let that shit shine. Oscar Wilde is famously known for saying, be yourself because everyone else is already taken. That's powerful. Positive affirmations can boost your capacity to love yourself. So here's a few just to get you started. And I always set the prefix with, if it's hard to jump into the frequency, I'm good enough just as I am, start with the prefix of, I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to learn to like. I'm willing to learn to befriend. I'm willing to learn what being worthy of my love and respect feels like. I'm willing to learn da 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 da, because the frequency of love starts at willingness and then evolves into liking and then learning to love. We don't just jump into love if we've not been in that place for a while. And it makes it easier to swallow. It's not like, well, I don't love myself today, so that didn't work. It's we ease into it. So here's a few affirmations that you might like to jot down and start. I'm worthy of love and respect. I am enough just as I am. I embrace my flaws and celebrate my strengths. I am deserving of happiness and success. I love and accept myself unconditionally. Now, let's put a reality check on that last one. There are days, even the most positive person, like an Olympian or an elite tennis player or sports player, will have a day where their mental game is off and it will be nothing but a shit show and everything will go wrong. And so, this is where the prefix I'm willing to learn, how to accept myself unconditionally, flaws and all. It's okay as long as you give it your best shot. You might like to write a love letter to yourself. If you're ever in doubt about what you value about yourself, or if you need to shift something out, you might start with a fuck you letter and then write yourself a love letter and date it a couple of months' time as if you're writing and the thing that you really want to bring into your world has happened. Write that love letter to yourself. Pour your heart out. Acknowledge your strengths and achievements of what you know will get you there and the qualities that make you special, and then revisit that letter whenever you need a reminder of why you're worthy of love. And obviously, you'll probably only do that activity when you're feeling high vibe and you've had a great day and you get to list all of the things that make you amazing and detail what that feels like as a sensation in your body when it's all going to plan. Now, I reckon I've nailed this next tip is the power of humor in self-love. I use humor to get through big moments because laughter truly is the best medicine and it plays a crucial role in self-love. Humor allows us to take ourselves less seriously and find joy in the imperfection of life. Because when we stumble or we face setbacks or hurdles or obstacles, if you can laugh it off, you then move around the obstacle with ease and grace. You don't go into survival, you stay present and you find a solution. Because remember, we're not born to know everything. We're learning all the time. And life is way too short to sweat the small stuff or the hard stuff. It's the lessons we learn. So to sum up today's episode, love really is everything. Self-love is the foundation upon which all other forms of love flourish. When we can embrace our worth, we celebrate our uniqueness, we practice self-compassion, you create a life filled with joy, confidence, and fulfillment. So go ahead, love yourself fiercely, and watch as your world transforms in beautiful ways. After all, as the Beatles wisely sang, all you need is love, especially the love you give to yourself. My name's Kaz Humphreys, and I'm a change facilitator, and you'll find me on social media using the hashtag #ChangeChick. My wish is that I can be of service to everyone who's seeking to choose to change and bloom from within. It really is possible just by loving of self. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you joined this episode. Be sure to hit the follow button and the like, and perhaps share it with your change tribe so that you can infuse self-love into your world and that of others. Take care of yourselves, gorgeous. I'll see you next time. Mwah.